Okay, so just gonna, for the first 2 minutes here, just share this so we can get some people on here. All right, let's see here. There it is.
Had to put out my cigar. I have a habit of smoking all the time.
Oh yeah, you want to give a shout out to your buddy Paul Italia while we're starting?
You know, I wish everybody the best, man. I wish everybody the best. Yeah.
Okay, it's up on Facebook now, so hopefully some people will see it from Facebook because I know you and me are mutual friends. And then let me tag you in that real quick. Cool. And then I'm going to throw it in our group chat right now, and then we're good to go.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate you doing this, man. I like the more that we can talk about it and spread it around. Like it's just really cool, and I like everything you guys are doing over there. And I watch your Armtillery channel, so I like that.
There's a few reasons why I wanted to talk specifically to you about it all, but obviously it's a really big deal for you guys. I understand that, but I wrote a list of questions for you and all that kind of stuff. Okay, I just tagged you. Now let me go over to our group chat and throw it in there. No, not that one. No, not that one. This right here. Share. Facebook Messenger. Boom.
I didn't know that Carl Gerke was from out there where you guys are at until just the other day when I was talking to him.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so that's pretty cool, man. So he's like he's home base in both states.
Yeah, we're big time rooting for him over here. Okay, so to kick it off, Nowhere to Run Arm Wrestling, aka Mr. Josh Edwards. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate you very much, man.
Thank you for having me, bro.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. For people that don't know, Josh, he is the owner / CEO of Nowhere to Run Arm Wrestling down there in California. Doing pretty big things as of this weekend, man. I mean, that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. Everyone knows him in California. A good majority, I would say, of people here in Arizona know him and know his crew now. We had the good opportunity of having him and his crew with Caleb and everybody come down and had that nice AZ versus Cali event, which went excellent. I mean, don't know that it could have gone better in retrospect with having like Larry Wheels and John Brezink and everybody in the house. Just super, like such a dope day, just all in general, regardless of the fact that we got to, which we'll talk a little bit more about, but take one step further in uniting more of Arizona and California arm wrestling, which is super important to both you and me. But super stoked for you and your team and your crew for this weekend, for throwing the biggest April Fool's joke tournament ever. No.
Right.
How many people have asked you if the whole thing's a joke because it's on the first?
Actually, a lot less than I thought. The only person that reached out and asked if it was a joke was Jody Chocolate Thunder Williams. He had hit me up. He goes, "I hope this is not a joke, bro." And I was like, "No, it's real." But then I joked about that afterwards, and I said, "Hey, man, I mean, you tell me that wouldn't be the best trolling viral video ever if I have all these people show up and there's nothing going on, right?"
Kind of like the Travis versus Michael Todd where they do the punching bag at the end type bullshit.
Right. Hey, they fooled me. They fooled me. So
for real, man, for real.
Yeah, but, no, I would definitely never do that to any of these guys. Right. Yeah, it just worked out. It was really a timing thing. I'm trying to find something that worked out best for both sides. a downtime in between tournaments. I know that it's a few weeks after that the East-West qualifier that happened. Shout out to Grinder Jim and Inga Terzi and them.
Yeah.
They did an awesome job down there. But yeah, we wanted to make it to where at least there was a little cushion to where it didn't kind of conflict anything. April 1st worked out the best. So yeah, April Fools, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be an exciting day for sure.
And forgive me if I'm mistaken, but it is just a day filled of super matches. It's not a tournament, correct?
Correct. Yeah, there's no tournament at all, no weight class tournament, anything like that. This is a super match series. It's guys that we see guys all the time at the tournaments. You know firsthand. You see guys you might have took a loss to a certain guy or whatever the deal might be, but you always feel like, hey man, if I had another shot or if I could just go one more match, I might have been able to do something different.
Fresh for fresh. You hear that a lot.
Right. Fresh for fresh. And so it's that idea. And then me coming from like a wrestling background, it wasn't really as individual, but our team knew the team that we were going against 6 weeks down the road. Right. So we prepared for that. And it kind of gives you that opportunity to do that, to have a training camp for an individual as opposed to just showing up at a tournament and not knowing who you're pulling and whatever. So we wanted to focus more on that, kind of like the mixed martial arts things or boxing or anything like that has a training camp leading up to a fight.
Right.
So yeah, a whole day of super matches. Yeah.
I think there's maybe not the right word is controversy, but I think there's a big and I also don't know that I'd call it a divide, but there's a big part of the community that favors whether it's super matches or tournaments. And I think it's been tournaments in the past a lot. It's very, very slowly you're starting to see super matches become more and more valid in people's eyes, mainly or maybe because of the fresh for fresh idea. Putting a lot on those first 2 rounds, whenever you see a big super match happen, the very first round, I think gives you the most data or lets you know kind of what you're in for the rest of the 4 or 5, whatever rounds it is. So super match is much different than tournaments. I personally love it, but I think what the coolest part about what you're doing, and maybe you could tell me the thought behind the inspiration is, tell the people how many super matches you have that day.
Yeah. So I don't want to go, take too much of your time with this, but it started out as an idea that came from Mike McGraw and I talking. He's the captain of the Armbenders, and this is my 4th event that I've thrown in the last 2 years. It's the first one that's this huge. Yeah. But they've all been super match events, and all of them have had several teams from around California get together to do this. Cool. When I did it with Mike McGraw in November, he was really impressed with the vibe. It was the whole atmosphere, and he told me that in 30 years of him being in the sport that he's never seen nothing like that. Wow. And he said, which was huge, right? I mean, these OGs of the sport were just praising the whole vibe of it. It wasn't, and a lot of them were patting me on the back, telling me great job, but I keep trying to push that off of me. I mean, this is all about everybody getting together. That's why it's possible, but yeah, so Mike McGraw told me that forever they wanted the North and South to get together and see what's going on, because a lot of the South guys don't know the North guys, vice versa. And they might think that, there's not even any arm wrestlers worth anything up there or down there.
Keep talking. I got to let my dogs and I can hear you though. Keep talking.
No problem. So we wanted to link that together, and I threw the idea out there. Casey has been helping me a lot with this. He's my right-hand man. I mean, he's trying to get out there and make relationships as well. And we've traveled all over the place doing this. But we threw it out there as an idea and wanted to see how big it would get. And literally within a week, it went from a couple of matches to over 30. And that was before everything was said and done. Nothing was like, over as far as booking the matches. But I didn't want to stop. even though I know it seems like a really extravagant number, I didn't want to stop because I didn't want to turn anyone away that was interested in having a match. I wanted to not miss anybody, right? Because a couple of the events we had before, I've had that happen where guys were like, man, I wanted a match really bad, you know? So now we're sitting at 40. We're sitting at 40 matches. Bill Collins, you know, bless his heart, he's on board. He loves everything that's going on, the whole idea behind it, and he assured me that we'll get through it no problem. It's nowhere near as many matches as you'll see as at a huge tournament. You know, there'll be 300 matches at a tournament in a day, and they can knock that out in several hours. So yeah, we don't think it's going to be over in an hour or two. We know it's going to be several hours. It's going to take a nice chunk of the day, but the individual match going on, the teams all getting together, we believe that it creates, I believe it creates a lot more of an excited environment in the crowd, because at a tournament, you're focused on your weight class, you're focused on what's going on, they're calling your name, this and that, the other guys are pulling as well, so they don't have as much time to cheer for you or whatnot. With this, your whole team is sitting down or standing around, and they're watching you pull, and they're screaming, and the other team's screaming, and it creates a lot different of an atmosphere. So we're super excited with that, and yeah, just want to see where it goes. 40 matches, and we're all done. The last match that I locked in was the rematch between Tom Nelson and Tony Tomlinson for the #1 spot, left-handed.
Massive. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows who Tom Nelson is. Tony Tomlinson has been on the top left-handed of California arm wrestling for quite some time, but so good to see whenever Tom comes back, bro. So good to see. But I think you're right, man. I mean, obviously, when you look at like major tournaments, Arizona State, Utah, I mean, these are like 5-6 hour long days. And the amount of people that are going to have a super match that day will draw them, their teams, their friends, their family in to see that. And that, not even the arm wrestling itself, but just the, like you said, the vibe, the atmosphere of bringing everyone together. I don't know anything about it because I'm not from down there, but I'm sure California has drama just like California just has drama just like Arizona does, with parts of this part or for no reason whatsoever, for very stupid, silly reasons. And things like this shatter those, bro. They break down those walls. They bring everyone together. It's a cool atmosphere. I don't want to say a party atmosphere, but it is one of those kind of like come have a good time, but also take it serious because you got a match type scenario. Support your teams. I just don't think it's ever been done, bro. Like, I think you've kind of breaking history a little bit. Even the fact that you get Bill Collins with you is like massive.
It's so hard to even hear that, man. I'm just this new guy, a couple years into the sport, going on my second year. I've loved arm wrestling forever, but I've heard that probably 5 or 6 times in the last week, and it takes me back every single time. I don't want. It's hard to hear that because I feel like I'm stepping on great people's toes by even people saying that about this, right? Yeah. But it's amazing. I mean, it's amazing that people are saying that, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
I was going to say, I think
whole idea.
I was going to say, I think it's more the fact of how it speaks about California arm wrestling. I mean, it does speak volumes about you and your team and what you're able to do. And I think this will show. I think this is like a stepping stone. You know what I mean? Like, as big as it's going to be and as historical as it's going to be, it's probably just the beginning of the bigger shit that's going to come later on in the future, a year, 2 years, 5 years from now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think what it comes down to is California has always been, if not #1, but top 3 in all of the United States in as far as where the pinnacle of arm wrestling, as far as the standard, most people known. I would say for me, it's between like California and Florida. You know what I mean? It always has been, as far as like amount of YouTubes, amount of people's rank as far as between smallest to super heavy, you know what I mean? You guys got it all, you know what I mean? It was born like Petaluma, you know what I mean? Like there's so much history that goes along with California arm wrestling. I think it's just another niche that speaks about not only you, but about California arm wrestling in general. So I just cannot wait for it all to go so well, so that especially another big reason why I wanted to do it on my channel is because a lot of these newer Arizona guys, I don't think they know so much of the history of exactly what's going on here. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, no, you're exactly right. California it's flooded with legends and obviously all those guys that were on the Game of Arms show, world champions, Eric Wolfell, Alan Fisher,
right,
Kenny Hughes, rest in peace, all the arm benders. There's tons of history here. And you're exactly right. The biggest part of this is that even the guys that are new guys here in California don't know much about that, right? And so they're all getting together and getting to see this for the first time. I mean, some of the ranked guys who are top 5 in the state didn't know, a lot of the arm benders who are legends that have been in the sport for 3 decades.
Right. Shout out Mike McGraw, man.
Yeah, Mike McGraw, Randy Weaver, Dave Owens, Pulowski's, Big Rob. I mean, all of them, man. Matt Hughes. Yeah, I mean, their team is stacked. Luke Kent, Tom Nelson, Caleb. I mean, it just goes on. They continue to pump out that caliber of arm wrestler because of that vibe that you get over there at Mike's, at the arm benders,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's exciting.
So tell me this. You have a few, I know you have obviously, like you said, 40 super matches that are going on, but a few of them, I believe, not all of them, but few of them are like big time ranking matches, correct?
Oh yeah. There's so again, like I said, we got the Tom Nelson and Tony Tomlinson rematch. That's left-handed. That's for the number 1 spot.
Okay.
We got Ryan Ballesteros, who's coming back into arm wrestling, and he's been there, done that. He's all kinds of accolades and wins on huge people. Right. He's taken on Carl Gerke and he's taken on Scott Partington. So he's going for the number 1 spot on both hands. They both, Carl and Scott, thank you guys. Like Ryan said, I mean, it was awesome for them to accept that and put their name on the line. But yeah, those Caleb has a match. Let's see, Casey, he has a match to try to break into the rankings with the number 12 guy and the number 14 guy or something like that.
Who's he going against? What's the name of the guy?
He's going against Sergio Filippi on the left hand, and he's going against Waldo Saldana on the right hand.
Okay, and then what about Caleb? I'm sorry.
Yeah, Caleb's going against Zach Wagner on the left hand, and then right-handed he's going against Andy Langfeld, who's 2 classes above Caleb, I believe. Weight classes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. And there's a lot more. I mean, off the top of the head right now, I know I'm missing quite a few. I mean, we did have a huge ladies match that was on there, but one of them got hurt, so we had to replace that. We have, let's see, who else? Well, we have Scott Wynn going against Aaron Blevins, and Scott's a legend, right? And Aaron is a multiple national champion.
Little bit of a weight difference there too, right?
Well, there was, but no, I mean, they're about the same weight right now. Aaron's walking around 185 right now.
Okay,
so
cool.
Yeah,
I've never
he's up there
of pulling or meeting Aaron, but that dude looks like a truck.
Oh yeah, he is. I mean, his bicep doesn't even look like it's real. It looks like it was surgically implanted in his arm.
Awesome.
And his hit, I mean, he's man, so much sideways power and so much speed.
Yeah,
he's a tough dude in that weight class. So, I mean, that's going to be exciting. And there's a ton of them just like that. We got Big Rob, who's going against Alan Hodsey for, like, I believe the number 4 or 6 spot, somewhere right there. But Rob is ranked number 15 right now. But he's an OG armbender who just doesn't get out there to as many tournaments, because down in the South, I mean, they have tournaments every, month or every 2 months, it seems like. Up north, we only have 2 tournaments a year.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm familiar with Alan, but I'm not familiar with Big Rob. Maybe if I've seen him in a video, but interesting.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is there's not much footage on him recently. You can find footage a decade ago, like him with Kenny Hughes and all the older guys, Tom Nelson and them. But recently, I mean, yeah, he trains his son. He has a 17-year-old son who whoops grown men. And he's been arm wrestling for like 5-6 years. So yeah, I mean, like there's definitely a lot of big names on there, and a lot of exciting matches, and thankful again to Bill and Chris, the Collins, for coming out and helping us, because now it makes those matches as official as possible for the competitor. Seriously. Right? Because I've had, situations where I've had to hire a ref last minute, and maybe he wasn't a master ref or whatever the deal was. And so you'll always have somebody who's concerned about that or raises their concerns. With Bill, nobody's said anything.
That's awesome.
Everybody's just so excited, and they're happy to be a part of it.
Well, and once again,
and I didn't, speaking of that, I didn't want Bill to ref, man. Me and Bill were talking while he was in Dubai, reffing the Levon match, and we're talking like the whole week that he was there. And I invited him to come and hang out. Right. I was like, hey, I've never seen you go to an event and hang out and just chill. I would love you to come and just, hang out. And, we got to talking, and he was like, I'd like to help you. Right. And so boom. I mean, when the things fell off with Paul, when Paul, told us that he didn't want to work with us no more because he was trying to do the Devin Larrett and Michael Todd stuff.
Yeah.
We were, like, okay, no problem. I mean, he wasn't bringing refs or anything like that, but still, like, we were like, okay, no problem. So we were sitting back, and then Bill just kind of fell in there in the perfect spot. And he was like, hey, I don't want you guys to lose out or to mess up. I really like what you're doing, and I want to just help and help any way I can. So he came like big brother, and hey, let me show you the ropes and show you these things. And this is what I think you're doing well. This is what I think you're doing great. And then this is what I think you can improve on. And then so we sat down, we had lunch when he got back from Dubai, and yeah, so he linked us up together, and Nowhere to Run will be working with Bill at the Anaheim Expo in August, running the first ever team national championship.
Very cool.
There's a lot of things that we're putting together moving forward in the future. And so that one's going to be huge. The Anaheim Expo is now a national championship, and it's a team national championship.
Wow.
So first for both of those, but Bill's going to bring it over here to the West Coast, because there's like 6 or 7 nationals across the U.S.
Right.
But we know how reputable the UAL is, so everybody wants to win that title.
Dude, huge. I mean, shout out to Chris and shout out to Big Bill Collins. It doesn't sound like the timing could have been better. But you're right. I mean, every time you see them at an event or a tournament or it just makes you feel that much more better about it all.
Right.
I've had my fair share of not loving my referee experiences, and yeah, dude, Bill is the man. Like you said, I can't imagine anybody, especially the competitors, having much to say as far as that goes. But tell me a little bit about the venue, about the space, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so Crusader Brewing Company in Bakersfield. It's 5880 District Boulevard, unit number 18, over there. Shout out to Bailey. He's the owner of that. Yeah, it's a beautiful brewery. They homemade, all of their beers there are homemade, in-house made. They don't have any Budweiser or anything like that. That's outhouse. It's all in-house beer. They have a beautiful space there with the stage is right in front of their brewing tanks, so it gives it like a real rustic warehouse type dungeon feel. And yeah, I mean, just great people. They have a real nice space there. They have a front area that's like an eating area with a bar, and then the whole back room is where the stage is. It's a big open area where they have concerts. They do the PAL boxing there and stuff like that. So they always have like things going on. And then they have a whole back patio area that has picnic tables, cornhole, different games, and all this different areas for everybody to hang out. We have 2 vendors that are coming to serve food there. It's going to be the Chapas Bros, which is like mixed different type of food truck food, like tacos and pizza and everything you can think of. And then we have a Marine Corps vendor that's coming out called Semper Fries. And they do like different kind of fried potatoes, like with different toppings. So they're going to be the 2 vendors. We have a couple of other vendors that'll be there, like gym equipment, things like that, people that are sponsoring. But yeah, I mean, it's a great space. It's tucked back in Bakersfield. It's the center of the state. That was the biggest thing, is we were trying to find something that was as central as possible for everyone. Yeah. Because, you know, when we go drive down to San Diego, it's 8 hours. And we didn't want them to have to drive 8 hours. So finding Bakersfield, it's like 3.5 hours from San Diego. It's like 3.5 hours from us. And then there's people up north, and they'll be the ones, you know, driving a little bit farther, but it's a pretty good spot. And the owner there, he is a really cool dude. He loves the whole idea. He didn't know much about arm wrestling before I talked to him. Once I talked to him and we built this little relationship, he got hooked in like a week and started watching all the videos. And he's like, man, I didn't know that this was like a real professional sport. I mean, these guys look like they train and all this. And I was like, yeah, man, it's not that whole barroom thing, even though ironically we're having it at a brewery. Right. It's not that barroom sport that everybody thinks it is. It's a great sport. There's a lot of technique involved. There's a lot of training, a lot of hard work. And so, yeah, when he's seen all that, he was super pumped, and he's gotten a lot of his community members, because he's ex-military. He's gotten a lot of his community members and ex-military guys to come over, and there's going to be a lot of people that do not arm wrestle or never have, that are going to be there just spectating. So, I mean, that part is really cool as well. They've gotten behind us 100%.
That's awesome, dude. So cool. Shout out to them. Now I want to ask, I don't know, but I can only imagine how much work and effort has taken into putting all these super matches together. It's one thing getting a venue, getting a referee, but like I've had to do like matchmaker for like 5 or 6 matches before, you know what I mean? So I can only imagine. Big shout out to you for all that you've done in that sense. But I know you've seen, and the world is now a spectacle as far as East versus West goes. And when you look at East versus West 1, 2, and maybe even 3, compared to what they are now, they've made kind of this every time made improvements. And I'm sure Angan and everyone that was involved in East versus West 1 had no idea what it could end up being and how it has been now. And so I guess full circle, I guess I'm asking, is that kind of, you got East versus West, and now you got North versus South. So I'm saying maybe, is it North versus South 2? Is that the goal after this goes really, really well?
100%. So Tom Nelson, again, everything literally happened. It couldn't have happened any better. And when things happened the way they did, I was like, okay, this is definitely destined.
It's a sign.
Tom hit me up, and he had a trophy, okay, from a decade ago. And the trophy says right on the front of it, North versus South. And it says that this trophy is to signify the strongest region of arm wrestling in California. And so he donated that trophy. He's like, hey, do you want to take this and make it a legacy thing? And I said, that's exactly the idea. We want to have this be an annual event. Obviously, we can switch the location up and move it around, and maybe sometimes in the South, maybe sometimes in the North, whatever. We're always willing to cater and maneuver. But yeah, definitely an annual thing, because of how many new interactions are going to be made, and new phone numbers are going to be shared, and Instagrams are going to be shared, and how many more relationships are going to be built. Because like I said, I got into this less than 2 years ago, and I started in a garage with a couple of guys. I met Casey a few months after I started. He came around, and then he left for a while, and then a few months later he came back, and then he's been back ever since, you know. And after, you know, Casey came back for good, and after the first 2 events that I threw, we got on the road, man, and we went everywhere, and now we're in touch with everybody. So it's kind of that same type of thing. Like every year we keep doing this, it's only going to grow California arm wrestling and make people closer,
Absolutely.
make the events bigger. It's going to make people support each other more. And the goal moving forward, at least for what I'm trying to do, is and it was really cool that you guys invited us out there. Again, shout out to you guys and your whole squad. But the Cali versus Arizona thing, that's been my goal from the beginning, is state versus state. You get your 5-man team of your best guys, and you hash it out, and you go state versus state. And then at the end of the year, you have a huge team state championship. Because I can't stress this enough, right? I come from a marketing and advertising background, and the best way to sponsor somebody is a team. It's much harder to sponsor an individual or to get a big sponsorship for an individual, unless you're Michael Jordan or somebody like that, right? But for the average person, a team of 5-10 guys is much easier for a business or a company to get behind, because now they have that many more people that are wearing their logo and advertising for them, that many more people that can bring that benefit. So state versus state, that's the idea. Definitely north versus south, 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got plenty enough pullers. I mean, there's no reason why you can't. Like I said, as long as, I mean, and once again, the Bill Collins thing and everything happening for a reason makes it so much better. But once everybody sees, the level of this event and everything, I can't even imagine, bro. I'm so mad that I can't go. So mad.
Me too. I was telling everybody, because, well, it sucks, but whatever. But I was telling everybody, I was like, oh yeah, man, the Arizona guys are gonna come out. John said him and a couple guys are coming out. We're gonna have a blast.
Yeah,
things happen, whatever. But dude, we're gonna do more of these, and the Cali versus Arizona thing. I think we need to do more of those and keep that thing going. I mean, we should have 2 Cali versus Arizonas a year and 2 North versus Souths a year, and so on and so forth, man. The more that we do this, the more we band together, and the more that the scenery changes, it stays exciting. It doesn't become complacent. It doesn't become stagnant when you're sitting in the same spot all the time, seeing the same guys, pulling the same dudes. Right. So,
speaking of which, what's your personal favorite? Even if it's biased, even if it's not big, even if it's got nothing on the line. First of all, do you have a match this weekend?
So I did have a match. The guy got hurt on his arm, like working out or whatever. So I told everybody, I was available for a call out. One guy wanted to call me out, so we'll see if he shows up. I'll have a match with him left-handed.
Okay.
But for the most part, I mean, I want to just do the work and make sure everybody has a good time. My best take that I get from all this is the smiles and the handshakes and all that I get to see across the room.
Trust me.
Right? And so, yeah.
Shout out to legendary Bulkin, Ed in the event. He was the one who was helped through the Cali versus Arizona event. So shout out to him.
Shout out for sure.
Once again,
that's Edo, right?
Yeah, that's Edo. He knows as well. It's hard to have an event, be the host, especially a major event, and have to focus on a major super match.
Right.
So no, I totally get you. It's a win as long as everyone has a good time, and then you can put arm wrestling second behind it. But besides obviously your own biased, we'll have to brainstorm that Cali versus Arizona 2 redemption event. Absolutely, Ed, for sure. Thank you, brother. But
yeah, you guys came out ahead that time. So
yeah,
Arizona 1, Cali 0 so far.
I'm sorry. I was going to say any personal, even if they're biased, like favorite matches of your own that you're just like ecstatic, can't wait. It's like top of your list
for the North versus South.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, definitely. And I know I've already said it a couple of times, but the Tom Nelson match was so big for me because at the beginning of this, Tom was like, hey man, I've been training, I'm ready, this and that. And some of the guys down south that he wanted the match with, they didn't want the match for whatever reason. And they were wondering if Tom was like, really, is he seriously training again, or, whatever, this and that. So when Tony accepted that match the other day, and I wasn't sure that he would, because it's a lot on the line, and it's last minute. But the way that Tony said it, it like really struck with me. And he said, I want to see if I deserve to hold this crown or if there's a trilogy coming. And so that alone that's the way that it should be with everybody.
Dude, absolutely.
Like, you shouldn't just sit on your spot and like want to hold my precious. You should want to get out there and, and see. And so, yeah, that one is super exciting for me because I know how much this means to Tom. And I know that the last couple of years has been rough, him losing his best friend. I know, that has a big toll on him, but he seems motivated, he seems happy, and he's really excited to do this. So that's a big one for me. And then aside from that, definitely Casey, because, I want to see him. I think that he, can easily be right there in the top 15. Yeah. It's, maybe just a little bit of kinks and things to work out, but that's what I really want to see. I want to see how he does against that next level, know. So I'm super excited for that one as well. And then Chewy and Will Klingman.
I don't know anything about this Chewy guy, but I know Will Klingman is a bad dude, boy.
Yeah, Chewy's the one that I had mentioned to you when we were out there in Arizona. Him and Joseph are literally the same build. I mean, they're both freaks with their biceps. They're shorter, 150 pounds, but stronger than guys that are 200 pounds, right? And so yeah, Chewy's one of those anomalies. He definitely does not have the experience that Will has on the table. Okay. But he's one of those freaks that any given Sunday, like, you can put him up against anybody and just don't count him out, Yeah. So I'm really excited to see that one because nobody thinks,
is he
any of the main arm wrestlers. They're like, you're sending your boy out to slaughter,
Is he north? So, he's north. Chewy's north with you guys.
Well, he's Pismo. So I mean, he lives in Pismo Beach, right? Okay. So it's like the North Coast. I mean, middle coast. I mean, Central Coast.
Yeah, no, I totally know what you mean as far as like the Tony and Tom thing about not holding on to your spot, like how Tony said, man. There's so many. I come from an MMA background and watching a lot of UFC, and there's so many similarities that I see amongst the two sports. And one of them obviously being when you get a new champion, it's a lot of the times in the UFC, they're happy to be champions and not defend it because they've got the belt and they've got the big boy title and they don't have to do anything then at that point. And you always hate to see that. So shout out to Tony Thomas for having a fighter's attitude, saying, man, I want to always challenge myself, and make sure that I'm where I deserve to be, because that's a fighter's mentality, bro. That's what it takes.
True champ. That's a true champ right there for sure.
Yeah. Well, brother, I think I wanted to keep it short and sweet, somewhere between 30, 45 minutes. I think I got all I needed as far as questions out of the way. Do you got any like shout outs, anything that you want to nail off the top?
Yeah, for sure. If you don't mind. Like I said, I definitely want to make a huge shout out to Casey. When me and him linked up last year, he's been my road dog ever since. Right there with me. Yeah. And the whole rest of the Nowhere to Run squad, the Armbenders, Alpha Empire, Orange County, all the teams involved, the Bay Area, all you guys that are coming. Shout out to everybody, because once again, I can't stress it enough. This event is only happening because you guys are all willing to support.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally don't think it's getting as much, and once again, there's probably a lot of reasons why, but I don't think that we know what we're seeing until it happens. I think after it happens is when everybody is going to realize, oh my God, what just happened, how big it is. Like I said, the trajectory of how this can happen, hopefully more than once a year. I mean, like I said, man, this could not have been easy. So big shout out to you for making this happen. Thank you for making this happen. Arizona, I think, really only cares too much personally as far as Carl goes, but as far as investments go. But other than that, man, it's amazing, high level, competitive super match series arm wrestling, which everybody loves, dude. I mean, we are all so hyped about it. Obviously, me, Ed, and Joseph, we've talked about it, about your event a lot. We were trying to get a group of guys to come out there, and then I had my Doobie Snacks event that came up last minute. So, like I said, and like you said, there are going to be times that we meet up in the future for sure, because we're too similar. I think even when we said it when you were down here, we're a lot alike, brother. And I support all that you guys do. I'm gonna spread this, share it all over the place. If there's anything else that you guys need from us as far as support goes, please let me know. I'm on board with you guys, man.
Yeah, man. I need you to tag Neil Pickup. I'm surprised he hasn't hit me up yet.
Yeah, I got you. Neil's even.
No, that's just a joke. But really, with some of the stuff that I've been hearing, I'm like, well, then how come Neil and these guys haven't hit me up then? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm anxious and curious to see too what the rest of the United States, if they even know about it, right? I know that I've had some guys in Florida, say that they know about it, and some guys in Texas and obviously Arizona, but like everybody else, because I haven't seen it like be promoted much outside of us, doing our little thing.
That's what I mean. I think it's really going to break grounds, break history, and then once those videos start to come out and become nationwide, I think you're going to be a celebrity in like 6 months. I don't think you got nothing to worry about right now, but in like 6 months, you're going to hear Neil Pickup. A lot of people are going to be knocking on your door, player. I promise.
Well, I hope that, I mean, that's amazing and that's awesome. And like I said, I'm glad to be a part of it, but I hope that some of these guys that are on this list that people haven't heard of, that's my biggest idea for this, is that they get some spotlight.
Make a name for yourself this weekend, because that is the best way to do it in an event like this.
Yeah, heck yeah, man.
For sure, brother.
I appreciate everything you're doing, man. I appreciate the help, and I mean, this is awesome. Anybody being interested in it, it just makes me more interested. My phone doesn't stop all day since I've, started doing this thing. People with their matches and switching matches and all this stuff, and so once this is over, the wife will be a little bit happier for a couple of days, and so but.
Well, once again,
it's cool.
Thank you for all your work, man, because like I said, I know it's not easy, man. So we really do appreciate you for doing it all. And best of luck this weekend, making it all go down well. We'll all be watching. Do me a favor, shout out real quick the live streams that people can watch it on, if it is going to be live streamed.
Yeah, for sure. So Kane Pontecchio, he's the one who's been doing our live streams lately. You can go ahead and look him up. It's Kane Pontecchio on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And so he's been doing our lives. We have one that's coming on tonight at 6:30 or 6 o'clock, actually. And that'll be, Caleb will be on there, the Central Coast team. So you'll be able to see Chewy and Rick and them guys.
Okay.
And so we should wrap it up probably tomorrow evening. Will probably be the last one, or tonight might be the last one. As far as the little, interviews go. But yeah, Kane's huge help from Kane too. Shout out to him and his wife Malia Malia, sorry, for letting him help.
Okay.
It's been huge. And you as well, Armtillery. Everybody subscribe to this channel. These dudes are awesome. These dudes have the spirit of arm wrestling, and they welcomed us into their home with open arms, and we had a great day over there. And so definitely want to work with you guys more and more, but everybody needs to subscribe to this channel and follow what John's doing for sure.
Hell yeah, brother. I appreciate that very much. Throw the guns up, bro.
Yep.
All
I don't know if you can see me in there.
Yeah, we got you. All right, man. Well, best of luck this weekend. I'll be rooting for you, and I'll definitely give you a few days afterward, but I'll hit you up and we'll see how it all went in retrospect.
Okay, bro. Appreciate you, man.
All right, bro. Best of luck.